had such, and she was beautiful, bro.
You know, life has a way of disappointing you.
Very beautiful too, bro. Naturally. And then the way she dressed for me, she like.
She knew what she was doing.
She almost had me. She had me in the first half. Then boom, she had to start talking.
Not gonna lie.
Then her true colors came
Then
out.
she had to start talking.
You know, it happens. It happens to the best of us. And you know, I'm sorry, bro.
At least the truth came out right away, and she didn't lead you on.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I mean,
On the
you could have been a few dates, same thing, man. She's the one, and then found out like, okay, by the way, I have 15 bodies in the past week.
This is my third date this week. Actually, I'm testing the waters with different guys.
Oh, bro, yeah.
I like to have fun, you know.
No,
So you gotta
basically
look at
she
it-
did. Basically,
Look
she
at
did.
it, the glass half full, not empty. She basically did what?
Admitted that.
Pretty sad, bro. Pretty sad.
Was this
That,
version?
New American Standard.
I was gonna say that
What
Bible
would
looks
this
a
be?
little old.
That one is the new revised. I think this one's the new revised. I can't tell.
I wouldn't know.
When'd you get that?
NRS.
It was a gift.
I'm not sure.
From how long ago?
Last Christmas, I think.
I was
a
gonna
year
say, it
ago.
looks like you gotta blow the dust off that thing.
Yeah, it hasn't really been used lately.
Unlike you.
I know, bro. Man.
She used you.
She used
And
you,
the
bro.
audacity, she was like, you just got cracked, and I was just like, no.
She said that?
Yeah, I was just like, no, I cracked you. I cracked you.
Should have been me. It should.
Dude, the fact that she said that is crazy.
It was fun though. I enjoyed it. It was fun. Besides that,
I'm glad I haven't actually been on a date in a long time.
it was good. Like,
like actually, you know, taking the girl out, spending time with her, and doing all the things like that. I haven't done that in such a long time.
bro, it had such a good potential. It would have been such a good story. Like, hey,
Tell your kids.
Hey,
one
kids,
day,
this is how I met your mother.
This is how I met your mother.
Damn. And then it just ended up being a disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
it was a fun disappointment though. I'm not gonna lie.
It's not time yet.
Well, at least now you know. Like she goes in this category.
Yeah, the fun one. The
The
fun,
category, but not the wife category.
Yeah.
And at least as long as you can separate the two, we're running solid. And yeah, I do want to go on a date though.
Yeah, I encourage it.
I do want to go take a girl out.
I volunteer. I'll be your practice.
I'm not gonna lie.
You know how many dates me and Raul have gone on
It's my
lately,
turn.
bro?
You
Well,
can take- you can
you're
take-
always out. You're never here.
Where are we at? Where are we at?
Proverbs chapter 7.
Okay, I'm gonna have to. Oh, it's the new revised standard version.
New revised standard version. Okay, I figured it was the new revised. Yeah. What'd you think of the graphic that I sent you?
It's cool. I liked it.
Like it?
It's different, right? You can see the live in the background and then the time on the bottom.
And then I did somewhat similar for our ghost. It was good, right?
I look like that. Looks like a mugshot for me, bro.
Bro, you look like whenever you had your hoodie on, you look like a little kid.
Stoic.
I look
You look like a little
What
kid
I
with
look
your,
like?
with
I
your
look
red
like-
with your red hoodie on.
handsome.
5. We're on 6 or
7. Proverbs chapter 7.
6.
We're still in Matthew chapter 6. All right, bro.
Bro, I'm about to crash out every single time someone does that. Now. Like, why can't we just normalize?
You know what?
I cannot
It's
count to
brought
10 the
it's
same
brought
ever
together
again.
Society. And I've noticed you say that all the freaking time. 7.
7, 6.
I
7.
can't count to 10 the same ever again.
Okay, chapter
I
7.
can't.
Chapter 7, not 6.
It was like an itch.
It's been good though. It's a good day.
By the way, welcome back to the number one podcast in the world, the Confessions Podcast. Thank you for tuning in, liking, commenting, subscribe if you haven't already. We had some hater unsubscribe, so we're not at 100 no more. Oh, it's funny. Haters.
Is it still
Haters.
at 99?
What?
Is it still at 99?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still at 99. But it's
We'll
right.
pass
It's
it.
all right. It is what it is.
I'm finna make another account right now.
Make another account and subscribe.
Yep.
So if you're watching and you're not subscribed, subscribe to the number one podcast in the world. Today we are in Proverbs chapter 7, and we'll be covering Matthew chapter 6 later on in the podcast. So bring out your Bibles, or if you just want to listen along, that is fine as well.
I have my Biblia today.
Yeah, you finally have one. Your biblioteca. You have your biblioteca today. So whip out your Bibles. And then also, as always, drop a comment or a thought or an idea at any moment of the pod if you So please. Real quick, I remember we started this last time. We said we were going to do a small prayer before. So I did the first one. So if one of y'all want to take it away.
You want to try it?
Sure. It's been a day today, anyways.
All right. Go ahead.
All right. Bow your heads. Close your eyes.
Mhm.
Do what you got to do. Dear Lord, today I just wanted to go ahead and give you thanks for allowing us to wake up and live another day, experience another day, and go through beautiful challenges that we are facing today. I want to give you thanks for the food that we were able to eat. I want to give you thanks for allowing us to come together and to share your word and to hopefully inspire others to get closer to you, God. And overall, I ask you today to open the ears of the people that have been closed off towards you, Lord. I want to ask you that you continue to guide us, that you continue to look after us and our people. Rico,
I'm sorry.
you got to you can give us a minute, please. But as I was saying, I ask that you continue to guide us, that you continue to look after us, Lord, and do that for our people as well, Lord. We ask that you bring health and aid to the people that are in need right now as well, Lord. And overall, once again, Lord, just want to give you thanks for blessing us with such a beautiful day today. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. And God bless the number one podcast in the world.
Them libraries really paying off, huh?
Is it getting better?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
good.
Thank you.
Wait, what did y'all do at the library? What y'all read?
Man, I wish.
He was just flirting
No,
with her.
no,
Y'all just
basically-
flirting? Y'all just looking
basically-
around like, I
yeah.
read this book.
Yeah.
Have you read book?
Yeah, basically.
She's
Pictures.
pictures. She's like, I gotta go to the ones that
Bro,
only have pictures.
I'm telling you, she had really good potential because she showed up with like her backpack and her laptop. And I was just like, dang, I just showed up with my phones.
Bro, she was trying to play you.
She
No,
was.
bro, I'm telling you.
That's crazy.
She
But
dressed-
She couldn't keep up the lie that long.
No, for
Could
sure.
not even through a night.
For sure.
Yeah, I know, right?
I saw through it. I saw through
Yeah.
it, though.
You can smell it.
Yeah, it looks so good, though. It looks so good. She was.
The potential was there.
Yeah, it was. She was.
But-
She's beautiful, beautiful girl. The way she dressed too was very innocent, very modest.
Well, you did say that she dressed like that just for you, though. So that's
she
not how usually
did.
she
She
dressed.
did, and she. You know, I mentioned it, which was crazy.
And
I was
that's,
like,
bro, it's like,
really?
man, imagine if she just was like that.
Genuinely, right?
Think about what
Genuinely.
she's missing out on. She's missing out on being Raju's potential wife. Bro, that's
She's missing out
Bro,
on being
she's
taken
missing-
serious.
Bro, she's missing
Taken
out.
serious.
That's crazy.
And now she's gonna go out into the world and say all guys are the same, all guys are this, all guys are that.
Yeah.
When you were right there, the lottery ticket was right there. in
It
front
was
of her.
right there, and then she's gonna see us here. Well, I mean, even now, you look at where we are now. But I mean, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, the men that we are, and she's like, well, I had a chance, but she ruined it.
I knew that guy.
She ruined it in a matter of hours.
Yeah.
She couldn't even keep up a front for even a month.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
It just took a few hours. But I mean, at the
She
same
looked
time-
good though.
But I bet you look better.
She would have looked better
I
if
bet you look better.
the
Thank you.
picture you had was true.
Yeah.
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 Even if she didn't look as beautiful, even if she would have had she was a wife, that would make her 10 out of 10. Know what I'm
That's
saying?
something I was That's something I was mentioning, that it saddens me that it's not genuine. I'm like, yeah, if only it was truly you, like deep down, because deep down a girl knows when she's respectfully a hoe.
Mm-hmm.
She knows deep down, and you can tell once you gain a little bit of experience. And I was mentioning this in some of my videos I was recording earlier,
Mm-hmm.
but you can differentiate once you get a little bit of XP between a good woman and a good hoe.
Winning a good out. I mean, that's fair too. That's fair too.
I think it's kind of like
That was funny,
anybody
bro.
else trying to be something that they're not.
Yeah.
Like if I were to try to go out and be like a thug
Yeah.
or something like that,
Talk
Yeah.
on street.
you know, it wouldn't make sense for me, and I can only hold that up for so long.
Yeah.
But do you think if she was actually genuine from the start, like she showed up how she?
oh, I
actually
wish she
is-
would have had me wrapped around her finger.
What
Easily.
about the other way? What if she just showed up as a true self right off the get?
I could have.
Would you have still proceeded with all that?
No, I could have respected it. I think a little bit more, because at the end of the day, I'm respectful. Bro, I don't know why that man's going to town on the
Bro,
floor.
He's going to town on the floor.
He tastes something.
Looking at that dirt.
Rico.
Rico's going.
So like, what if she showed up in her skimpy clothes and had her cart and her vape?
Like genuine.
Just who she really was, yeah, or whatever she has going on.
At the end of the day, I'm respectful as is, but I think I could have respected her a little bit more if she just straight up.
Would you have still went through it all?
Yeah.
Still invited her over and everything. And all
Yeah,
that?
I would have. I would have. I'm not a complete dickhead. Like if she would have been like for example, let's just say we go to a restaurant and she's a douche to the server. Like I would have been like, you know what? I would have ended it right then and there. I would have been like, you know what? It was nice meeting you. Pay for the bill. Walk off.
Split the bill.
I wouldn't. Nah, I wouldn't have even ordered.
Would
I
you
would've
ever
been
do
like,
that? Would you ever split the bill?
Hey, am I getting something tonight, Derek? No.
No.
All right. Split it down the middle, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I lick the Texas Roadhouse butter off of it?
No?
No.
All right.
Splitting that bill.
Yeah.
Splitting that bill.
What about I've also experienced like a girl, she a good girl potentially. I don't know. Back then, she would say she set a boundary for herself that she wouldn't hang out with guys after like a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it was dark, she wouldn't want to hang out. She would only want to hang out during the day, and that's respectable. So I mean, it all depends on their intentions from the get go.
Yeah, I think a lot of things change from. They've just become more rare, and I think girls like this. I was actually having this conversation with my mom, believe it or not. But I think girls like this have become more common, which is sad. It saddens me, and my advice to a woman like that, I'm like, turn to God, turn to the Word, and actually listen and actually participate and apply that to your life. Don't just show up to church and just, oh yeah, I go to church. No, apply it.
It's
and
the ones
listen.
that show up to church and then they have all the scriptures in their bio and they post when they're reading the Bible. Those are the ones that are usually the worst.
Yeah,
Because the ones that are usually about it, they're the ones that don't post at all. Like, it's rare to see them. Whenever you do, it's usually a nice, beautiful photo of her with her family. Maybe it's of her, but smiling in a nice dress.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones that, in my experience, if y'all can relate to that.
Yeah, and this isn't going for all women, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's become more common now than ever. And another piece of advice to women is listen to your parents. Listen to your parents, because I've noticed a pattern with these women. They want quote unquote freedom, that their parents are too strict, that they don't let them go do this, go do that. Your parents love you. Remember that. Majority of parents love you. Majority of parents aren't shit. They're not. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it wrong. There is shit parents out there. Don't get it wrong.
Not all parents are perfect. They will make mistakes.
Exactly. But majority of parents are pretty decent people. They're
This
pretty
goes for
good
everybody,
people.
I think.
Yes.
This goes for everybody.
Yes.
I've been there.
And you know, I understand that you may kind of get bothered by when they tell you, hey, don't go over here. Don't go do this. Don't go hang out with these people. Don't do this, that. But they are genuinely telling you out of love. That's how they show their love. By telling you, no, don't do this, because they're looking out for you. And 9 times out of 10, they are telling you that for a good reason, with good intentions. And my advice, to the other hand, to men, gain XP, bruv. Gain XP, because if not, you're going to be a fool. Trust me, I've been through it. You're going to be a fool that falls in love with the hoe, and guess what? You can't save a hoe. Can't save a hoe.
And guess
Don't
what?
save a.
This is a
don't
very,
wanna be
like,
saved.
you're reliving a moment, but you're getting to choose the different path, right? Instead of trying to wife up this girl, you're like, you know what? Respectfully, I'm still gonna search for my wife.
See ya.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
a person can only put up a front for so long.
Yeah.
Exactly, kind of how you were mentioning.
Mm-hmm.
They can put it up for a month, few months, a year, maybe 3 years, bro. Years. One day, those true colors are gonna pop out, and you're just gonna be clashing all the time.
At the end of the day, your parents want what's best for you just as much as you do. But it's also going off of what you said earlier about people having Bible verses in their bios and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I seen this comment, and I didn't even thought about it. It was like, take a shot every time someone who's an a-hole on the internet has a scripture in their bio. And like you said, those are the people that are the worst, that are real mean, that are real judgmental, that are talking mess, and they have scriptures in their bio. They're sharing all these things about faith and God, but then they're completely ignoring all that and being mean to someone random on the internet or talking mess or trolling or whatever. Whereas with me, like I can agree with what you said too as well, that a person who's really about it is not going to flaunt. Kind of like what we read a week or two ago. I think it was in the book of Matthew.
No, it was I think it was
Or was it a
or
proverb?
No, it was in Matthew. It was in
right.
Matthew. It was Jesus talking about giving. And
Don't flaunt anything you
fasting.
do. Just do everything because he's going to see it all anyways. You don't
Yeah.
have to prove anything to anybody. And that goes like
Bro, look
that
at
goes in the
us!
same
Look
line.
at us using the word in
That's why I
our
was
own.
kinda
Bro, look at that!
connected.
Look at that! It's a weapon, bro. It's the weapon.
Mhm.
That's
So it
great.
goes hand in hand. Like, just do it. Do it on your own accord. Don't flex in front of everybody because then now you're just being a hypocrite.
You're flaunting it, and it's kind of how like. Well, this is just another point off of that. The word, when you read the word and you get to know the word, then you realize that you can start using it to justify or vindicate your actions, and at the same time, you can use it to like, okay, the Bible warned me against this. The Bible said something about this. I probably shouldn't be doing it, or I should avoid this type of person. And I think that's another thing that's real powerful about reading. When you read the word and you see it for yourself and you're able to internalize it, now it's a weapon. It's a sword, right? There's I don't know if y'all know about the armor of God, right? You have, I can't name them all off the top of my head. It's been a long time, but it's like you use the word of God as your sword. This is what you use to combat the enemy. This is what you use to combat sin. If you don't know the word, then you're susceptible to more because you just don't know. You're more ignorant. Ignorance is bliss. And you're more susceptible to fall into traps. And, for example, disobey your parents. It's one of the most basic commandments, but that everyone, I'm sure they know it, but they really don't understand that even whenever, I think it's Jesus that's talking in the Bible, it says, obey your parents and you will live a long life, right? I don't think it's Jesus. I think it's in the Old Testament. But obeying your parents and having a good relationship with your parents, as you mentioned, it stems from them knowing more. They experience more and they love you, and kind of how we've talked about before with our fathers. Our fathers is the only one that wants us to be better than him. It's the only man on planet Earth that wants us to genuinely be better than him. And so the advice that he gives us, the stories that he gives us, the experiences that he's able to pass on to us, if we able to use those, and we can grow from them. We've seen those in our own individual lives, right? And on the converse, you've seen people who rebel against their parents, who make them enemies. You know what I mean? Even though we all know they're looking out for them, and even deep down inside, they know that parents are probably right. They just want to live life how they want. And so, if there's anything that you could take away from all this, this beginning discourse that we've had, is get plugged into the Word. The Word is your weapon. The Word should become what you speak out with. It says what? Speak by faith, not by sight, right? How do you grow your faith? You grow by faith by reading the Word and listening to the Word of God. That's how you grow your faith. That's what the Bible says. I believe in Romans. But we'll go ahead and get started. Again, we're in Proverbs chapter 7. Raul, you got your Bible today, so you want to take it away?
Let's see what it is.
Take it
Let's
away.
see what it's
Lay some
about.
W's in the chat for Raul. W's in the chat. W's in the
I was
chat.
eager for it.
He got his Bible. He got his Bible today.
The false attractions of adultery. Proverbs chapter 7. My child, keep my words and store up my commandments with you. Keep my commandments and live. Keep my teachings as the apple of your eye. Bind them on your fingers. Rico, bro, chill out with that. I don't know what. I don't know what.
What's going on today, huh?
Bro?
You would think there's like crack on
I don't
that
know if he's
floor.
like cleaning his area or what.
Some peanut butter, man.
Hey, yo,
He's looking
hey,
at some
yo.
peanut
Yo,
butter.
Rico.
Hey, chill, please.
Excuse these technical difficulties.
Thank you. My bad. Back to what I was saying.
Chapter 3 or verse 3.
Bind them on your fingers. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Say to wisdom, you are my sister, and call insight your intimate friend, that they may keep you from the loose woman, from the adulteress with her smooth words. For at the window of my house I looked out through my lattice, and I saw among the simple ones, I observed among the youths, a young man without sense, passing along the street near her corner, taking the road to her house in the twilight, in the evening, at the time of night and darkness. Then a woman comes towards him, decked out like a prostitute, willy of heart. She is loud and wayward. Her feet do not stay at home. Now in the street, now in the squares, and at every corner she lies in wait. She seizes him and kisses him, and with impudent face she says to him, I had to offer sacrifices, and today I have paid my vows. So now I have come out to meet you, to seek eagerly, and have found you, and I have found you. I have decked my couch with coverings, colored spreads of Egyptian linen. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of love until morning. Let us delight ourselves with love. For my husband is not at home. He has gone on a long journey. He took a bag of money with him. He will not come home until full moon. With much seductive speech, she persuades him. With her smooth talk, she compels him. Right away, he follows her, and goes like an ox to the slaughter, or bounds like a stag towards the trap. Until an arrow pierces its entrails, he is like a bird rushing into a snare, not knowing that it will cost him his life. And now, my children, listen to me, and be attentive to the words of my mouth. Do not let your hearts turn aside to her ways. Do not stray into her paths. For many are those she has laid low, and numerous are her victims. Her house is the way to Sheol, going down to the chambers of death. Proverbs chapter 7.
I feel like I've seen that in a movie before, that same exact scene. And a story of seduction is what it's talking about.
And also, which kind of what we touched on about rebelliousness. In my translation, it says, where is it at? Oh, it says in verse 11, it says, she is boisterous and rebellious. Speaking of some of the characteristics of people or women that should be avoided. This one right here, it's weird because it sounds like this message sounds like something that you would also not find in a Bible. Like, this is kind of knowledge that you could gain from a man who's experienced life and some women.
Yeah.
And so, but I guess let's just break this down from beginning, and then we'll go through it all. First, I love how it always emphasizes, my son, keep my words and treasure my commandments within you. Keep my commandments and live, and my teaching is an apple of your eye. Bind them to your fingers, write them on the tablet of your heart. Say to wisdom, you are my sister, and call understanding your intimate friend, that they may keep you from an adulteress, from the foreigner who flatters with her words. Again, it's emphasizing keeping God's word close to your heart. But also, if you don't know the word of God, then what are you going to keep close to your heart? It's whatever else you listen to. Could be whatever your parents say, could be what your friends say, could be what the society says, the songs you listen to say. What you listen to is ultimately what you're going to bind close to your heart. It could be what you say to yourself, albeit negative or positive. But this right here, at least this first part, is pretty straightforward in saying, keep my commandments, learn to love wisdom and understanding, and they will keep you away from the adulteress. Now, do we think that the adulteress is just an adulteress or representative of many things?
I think it can probably be, I mean, specifically in this chapter, it's, I believe, talking about an intimate relationship with a woman.
With a married woman.
Right, I think it would be a woman specifically as well, because it says right here in mine on verse 4, say to wisdom, you are my sister, and call understanding your relative. She will keep you from a forbidden woman, a wayward woman with her flattering talk. Mm-hmm. So I think of my sister, and my sister has been very overprotective since I was little.
Yeah.
With girls, and specifically talking about.
Man, your sister's scary.
She's very
She
scary.
would scare me whenever I was a kid.
And to this day, all the girls I've talked to, all the girls I've dated, nobody has met her.
She's got to pass the sister check.
She's got to pass the sister. My mom has met girlfriends and girls I've talked to before my sister. So I'm taking like, oh, when you meet my mama, you're the one. When you meet my sister and she approves of you, you're the one. Because
she's hard to please.
She's just because she has higher standards for me than I do. She wants what's best for me.
I would say your sister did it the right way.
She did.
I think your sister is a good representative of what a modern woman could be. Just saying, just to give some glaze.
Appreciate
that.
that. I'll tell her you said that as well if she doesn't watch this soon.
Mm-hmm.
But I can relate that to this because my sister would keep me from a forbidden woman. I'm over here blinded by her flattering talk. She's being a snake. She gives me what I want. She's being real seductive, lustful. I'm falling in love with that. The red, swaying, kind of getting hypnotized. And she's gonna come over here and knock some sense into me and say, no, stay away from her. That is a forbidden woman. That's also being wise. So I can connect that to that because my sister, she sees right through other girls. She's been one. She's lived it all. So she can tell right off the get if she's a hoe, if she's no good, whatever. She'll see it before I even see it.
We could say promiscuous. How about we just use that verbiage?
Okay, we could say promiscuous. Because even recently, too, like me and my brother have really, really high standards as well. So my sister even has higher standards than we do. My brother finally recently got a girlfriend, and we were all so surprised. And she met the family recently, and my brother was so nervous because that was the one that was meeting my sister. And it was around my birthday dinner, and we're all sitting at the table, and it was cool. At first, it was a little awkward. We were seeing what the vibes were, and then at the end of it all, we talked to my sister and we were like, so what'd you think? Thumbs up. She was so for getting a thumbs up from her is like, okay, we can see where this goes. We can make this work.
All right, a thumbs up for tonight. We'll take that as a win. We'll see what happens forward.
So now we're moving forward. We got the holidays coming up. She'll most likely be around for the holidays. More of a chance to connect, get that vibe going. See, because I pray for their relationship because I want my brother to settle down and be happy and create a family and get married. Just like what I want for him as well. So keeping wisdom as your sister and as a relative, as much as I got annoyed with my sister and wanted I don't know, whatever, I'm going to do what I want. She had good intentions.
Yeah, and it's the type of thing that you learn to cherish as you get older, and then you couldn't imagine your life without it.
She was probably the main reason why I didn't have a kid so young too, because that was her biggest thing, scaring everybody away. And as a young person, you get annoyed by it, but like you said, you learn to cherish it when you get older.
That's how my mom was. My mom was like Bobby Boucher's mom, the
Girls
water boy.
That
was my mom. Yeah, I grew up thinking women were the devil. I didn't have no friends that were girls. I didn't get invited to any parties. Or actually, I got invited to birthday parties, but I threw all the invitations away because I was scared that I would get in trouble. So I was scared of girls, but it's because of my mom. So she's the reason why I waited to talk to girls till so late. But I guess really this moving forward in this passage or in this chapter, it kind of just goes down how it kind of works. How you see this woman, her cunning, you pass by her, and then she stalks you down like prey. Then she approaches you, and then she's able to seduce you, and then that right there. What do you think it means when it says, "With her flattering lips, she seduces him. Suddenly, he follows her, as an ox goes to the slaughter, or as one in fetters to the discipline of the fool, until an arrow pierces through his liver, as a bird hastens to the snare, so he does not know that it will cost him his life." What do you think cost him his life means?
I think, you hear it a little bit more often nowadays. The woman that you choose to be your wife is a major decision in your life, and if you choose a good woman, hey, it can be your greatest asset, if you choose a bad woman.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, I'm gonna cut you off real quick. It's like, you always say she could be your greatest asset or your greatest liability.
Exactly.
And she's the greatest liability. I see where you're going with that because I was on the same page there.
Exactly. So that's what makes me think of not knowing that it will cost him his life, because I truly believe you choose a bad woman, she's going to ruin everything for you. She's going to ruin relationships. She's going to ruin you financially. She's going to ruin.
I have an intimate understanding of this passage.
She's gonna ruin
She'll
your
separate
confidence,
you
your
from the people
confidence,
that,
you know,
that love you.
She'll even destroy you as a man, like who you are yourself, you know. And I'm personally, I've experienced this as well, you know. Luckily, I've never like allowed myself to be tied down to where, hey, I'm stuck with you forever, you know. I've been able to get out of this situation and remind myself, hey, you know, like, and taking a look back at who I was in those relationships, I was like, dang, bro, in this relationship, you were weak, bro. Like, what the heck? You weren't even half a man. You weren't even a man, you know. This one, you were over here pretending to be something you weren't, you know. You were over here catering to a woman that wasn't a good woman to you. And that's just a mere example of one thing that it can cost you. But I mean, Derek, exactly kind of how you were mentioning, you have a pretty close relationship with this verse, right, or this chapter here.
Yeah, and being able to witness it, I understand exactly what it says now.
Yeah.
When it says cost him his life, but for me, I think what I've been able to apply into my life, I've been able to learn through, you know, other people, because, you know, as y'all know, if y'all don't know already, I've only been in one relationship, and that ended a long time ago. I was still a kid. I was freshman in college whenever that ended, or I just barely finished my freshman year. So I have been single for a long time. I was only in one relationship, and honestly, I don't really remember it that much. But I don't remember it being negative. I remember it being positive for the most part, and I have nothing bad to say about the person that I was with. So I haven't experienced multiple relationships and figured like with different women, but at the same time, I've been able to learn, like I said, through other people's experiences. And then also, just because I haven't dated doesn't mean I haven't dabbled. Like, there's always some sort of woman, usually at least one, you know, that's in my life trying to creep and trying to see if they can take that title.
Casting their fishing line.
Yeah.
See if you cook.
And I've been able to make mistakes in those, but I haven't been in a relationship with. I haven't claimed a girl as mine. So that's something that I haven't been able to go through just yet. Maybe I need to get my heart broken. Sometimes I think it's maybe a good thing.
Yeah, I think I have a bad habit of thinking it's a good thing. Like, part of me loves heartbreak, but like during the moment it sucks.
Yes,
it hurts, right? But afterwards, I mentioned this earlier as well. Heartbreak, failure is the best teacher for a man.
It's
the
crazy.
best teacher.
I don't know if I would want to go through a heartbreak again. It's kind of, I kind of see it as, oh, kick me in the nuts again. You know, I don't want to get kicked in the nuts again. No.
Shit, tomorrow, today, right now, I'm willing to do it. If you can get me to fall in love with you, hey, let's go.
I'll fall in love, but I guess that's the risk that you take too as well, right?
Isn't life a risk though?
Like, it's a risk.
That's the thing. I haven't taken that risk. Like, I'm pretty like set in stone. I kind of decide within the first time that we hang out whether or not I'm going to allow myself to fall in love with you. Hasn't happened yet. But if as soon as I say I'm not. And you can't convince me otherwise. It doesn't matter how good a girl you act or whatever. If I decide in my mind that I'm not going to fall in love with you, I'm not going to pursue you, then that's it. And so, no, there really hasn't been a girl that's been able to pass that.
And I can agree with this as well too, because I mean, I've had a few girlfriends too at a young age, and you think you know it all, but you don't. And when it hits the fan, you know, you feel like your life is over. You feel like everything doesn't matter anymore. You feel like, man, there's no point in moving on, but it's just a little part of your life, and you look back at it like, wow, that was just a fraction of my life. And even then you go through that experience falling in love, quote, with the wrong woman, and you get set back. It feels like, even then right there, it even feels like you get set back for years. Like it's still like still crawling yourself out of that hole after a year or two. Imagine going long term with that woman, having a kid with her, moving in with her, marrying her. Then imagine how long it's gonna take for you to get out of the hole. Because as a kid, thinking you know it all, going through a heartbreak, thinking your life is over, feeling like you're behind now forever. But you're only been behind maybe a year or two, compared to where if you go deeper, now you're behind 5-10 years.
Yeah.
You may never even get out of it.
I think at that point you even look at it and you're like, I've already lost so much. What's just put up with it for the rest of my life, because I think it does also seem so scary to start over again. But I think it's kind of like muscle memory. Like if you don't go to the gym for a long time, you show up and you may look fat, but you'll regain it quicker than
it's like riding a bike. It'll come out.
Especially once you get if you have that right mindset approaching it, then you'll see progress quickly and you'll see how easy it is to catch up. And especially to the people around you, because just how society is right now, it's very easy to outwork and outcompete people. Very easy. So you'll pass people in no time.
And I even take this little quote that I learned too from those Diamond Gym people. When you're in the gym, or no matter what you're doing, whether you're on the computer working, studying, reading a book, working out, he always tells himself, he's like he's training someone. He tells that person that's working out, there's someone outworking you right now. There's someone getting better than you right now. And then he hears that and he just goes off. He's like, no one's going to outwork me. No one's going to get better than me. But like you mentioned, it's easy to outwork people these days because they're too accustomed to being comfortable and being lazy and just having things handed to them. And then you fall in love and you get a girlfriend and you just become content. No drive. Don't want to get better. No goals. Just hanging out every day, playing video games, smoking, or watching TV.
See, one thing that I understand, right, but I don't necessarily agree with is people whenever they gain happy weight. They get into relationships and you see them 6 months later, a year later, and then they're both like way overweight from whenever they first started dating. I'm like, me in my household, we're going to eat good and we're going to be going to the gym or working out. So she can do her Pilates or whatever, but like in my household, we're fit, especially whenever it comes to my kids. My kids will not be obese and overweight. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I see that happen a lot, and I'm like, you know what? I get it. And if you're an older couple, like you're already 20 years into marriage and you're in your 50s or 60s or whatever, and she cooks great and you just love to eat, by all means, I guess not being obese. I really don't think you need to go as far as being like actually obese, but if you're a little bigger, then,
And one thing, too, that I love about your mom is when your dad was going through his little health journey and working out and dieting all the time, she changed her cooking habits for him when they're going through the little keto thing.
She had to. She had to because, my dad got diabetes and high blood pressure and high cholesterol. He had the whole works. So my mom had to switch how she cooked, and then they went keto, and then my dad started going to the gym a lot, and then they would go together, and then my mom started going to the gym, my dad started going to the gym, and then they've been doing it ever since.
I love that. So they took it, like, that's one thing that I really loved about your mom. She took in account their health, their future, their happiness, and she did that, and she didn't have to. She could have told your dad, hey, you can cook yourself or whatever.
Or she also like denies buying herself snacks because she's like, well, if I snack, he's going to want to. Right? So she even says no to some of her cravings just because she knows that that's what's best for my dad.
To support your dad.
And then same time,
that's awesome.
She cooks for him meals that he knows that she knows are healthy for him and that are good for him. And then she also calls him out when my dad's not eating well. Right? She's like, hey, you need to eat better because you're going to be cranky. You're not going to feel good. All that stuff. My mom, she's like, but that's part. On the converse of this, having a good woman by your side,
it's an asset.
Bro, it's an asset. And let me
she
tell
won't
you,
ruin your
my
life.
mother is the biggest asset my dad could have ever had. My mom had brought him from poverty, being broke, a felon, no car, no house, and has helped lifted him up. And plus, he's putting the work too, but lifted him up. And to now, I mean, he's starting his second business. They're they're well into 6 figures every single year. I mean, they can take a trip if they want. My dad has 2 different vehicles. My mom has her car. He just bought her another truck, and he's like they have a good life, right? But I know for a fact my mother has played the biggest role in that, being a rock for him, even whenever he's fallen, even whenever my dad's, tripped and stumbled. My mom didn't just abandon him and kick him to the curb and say, you know what, forget you. Like, she stayed and fought for him and fought for the family. And since I was a child, like from the moment I was born till now, all my parents have done is leveled up. And my dad's not perfect. He's made a lot of mistakes, and my mom's not perfect either. I think she's damn close. But my mom's been able to be that rock that my dad can lean on. And my dad, like I said, he's made some mistakes, but my mother's been able to help uplift him and bring the most out of my dad. Like, she's brought the best out of my dad. And my dad still continues to grow to this day. Right? My dad is still continuing to grow. My mom and dad they're best friends. They hang out all the time. Whenever they're not working, my dad's working like a dog right now. He's always been like that. My dad's always had very high work ethic, and so has my mom. But now they work together because it's a family-owned business. And then whenever they don't have time, or whenever they have some free time, they spend it with each other. And they have, like I said, they go to the gym together, they cook together, they'll go to the casino trips together, they watch movies together. So like, I've seen what having a good woman, a great woman by your side can do. All they do is uplift you. They pull out the highest potential that you have. So, I mean, that's the enticing part of a relationship, right? Is knowing like, man, there's a woman out there, and I just know that she's going to make me better. Like, she's going to add to my life, and she's going to make me become a man that I couldn't even imagine being the type of man that I am, And we have very high expectations for ourselves, but imagine whenever we have that woman that pushes them even higher, right? And makes you like, I'm even hungrier than I was before because I want to provide for you. And then especially when you start having kids, and it's like, and then you see her be a great mother. Like, all these factors that play into it when you find a good woman, like, it elevates you in every single way. If you're with the right woman because you will level up. You should level up in everything, in your finances, in your health, in your physical, and your spiritual should help you gain spiritually. All these things you should level up, and she should help make you the man that you are meant to be. But that's what a good woman does, And as we see, a bad woman do the opposite.
Drains you.
It drains you.
Life.
It's a life-draining succubus.
You could even take it literally. He doesn't know what cost him his life. Who knows? The world is crazy today. People are so quick to pull out a gun. People are so quick to take a life.
At this time, a sword?
Right? At this time, people are so
spear.
quick to take a life, though. They look at it as invaluable. You could take it literally. Like, if you're cheating with a married woman and the husband comes home and catches y'all, who knows what he's going to do? He's going to crash out.
Yeah.
He will either crash out and it's everybody's time, including himself, or he's going to be calm and collected and just walk out. But you don't want to risk that, though.
Yeah, you don't want to risk that. And for me, like, if that were to happen to me, right, this is any woman cheats on me and I just happen to catch him, I think I'd definitely be more silent about it. I believe so. I'd be more quiet. Then again, they say love makes you rage, but at the same time, when I rage, I think I'm more calm. I try to hit it where it hurts, and that's more mental. Physically, I'm not going to touch you, but if I know I can hurt you up here, then I'll probably do that, and I'll just stay silent, and then I'll just be like, you can go, or I'll just get all of her stuff and just be like, it's outside, and then just be like, I don't know her. She's just like an old friend. Like, you can move forward. I'm not going to be mean about it, but not being mean about it is kind of the whole point.
Right. That'll drive them crazy mentally.
That'll drive them crazy. Not overreacting. Not giving them the satisfaction of getting a ruse out of me. A ruse.
And then the other hand, you'll have a dude who's gonna crash out.
Yeah, he's
and
gonna crash
everybody's
out.
dying, and
everybody's
dying.
It's gone. It's everybody's day. But all right, that was a good passage. I guess the last part. Listen now, therefore, my sons, listen to me. Pay attention to the words of my mouth. Again, reaffirming. Listen to God. Listen to His words. Do not let your heart turn aside her ways. Do not stray into her paths. For many are the victims she has cast down, and numerous are all her slain. You're not the only one, buddy. You're not the only one.
She has many victims.
Her house is the way to Sheol, which is hell, and descending to the chambers of death. She is the highway to hell.
AC/DC.
All right. Let's go ahead and turn. We're in Matthew chapter 7, I believe. Yeah. Matthew chapter 7. Ooh. Okay, I already see some good things here. I'm excited to read this. Matthew chapter 7. Gave you all a chance to turn into your bibliotecas. Are y'all there? Mm-hmm. Okay. Judging others. Do not be judged, so that you will not be judged. For in the way you judge, you will be judged. And by your standard of measure, it will be measured to you. Why do you look at the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, and behold, the log is in your own eye? You hypocrite. First take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your brother's eye. Do not give what is holy to dogs, and do not throw your pearls before swine, or they will trample them under their feet, and turn and tear you to pieces. Prayer in the golden rule. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, and he who seeks finds, and to him who knocks it will be opened. Or what a man is there among you, when his son asks for a loaf, will you give him a stone? Or if he asks for a fish, will you not give him a snake? Will he? If you then, being evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father who is in heaven give what is good to those who ask him? In everything, therefore, treat people the same way you want them to treat you, for this is the law and the prophets. The narrow and wide gates. Enter through the narrow gate, for the gate is wide, and the way is broad that leads to destruction, and there are many who enter through it. For the gate is small, and the way is narrow that leads to life, and there are few who find it. A tree and its fruit. Beware of the false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. You will know them by their fruits. Grapes are not gathered from thorn bushes, nor figs from thistles, are they? So every good tree bears good fruit, but the bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot produce bad fruit, nor can a bad tree produce good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. So then you will know them by their fruits. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but he who does the will of my Father who is in heaven will enter. Many will say to me on that day, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name, and in your name cast out demons, and in your name perform many miracles? And then I will declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, those who practice lawlessness. I'll go ahead and finish it. The two foundations. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and acts on them, may he be compared to a wise man who built his house on a rock. And the rain fell, the floods came, the winds blew and slammed against that house, and yet it did not fall, for it had been founded on a rock. Everyone who hears these words of mine and does not act on them will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. The rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and slammed against that house, and it fell, and great was its fall. When Jesus had finished these words, the crowds were amazed at his teaching, for he was teaching them as one having authority, not as their scribes. That is the entirety of the Sermon on the Mount right there. What we had just finished. And this last one had a lot of good stuff in it. I'm not gonna lie, this last chapter, there's a lot that we could break down in this one right here.
Wait, what do you mean it was the last part of the mountain, or
Sermon on the Mount? This is the last piece of his Sermon on the Mount. Do you know what the Sermon on the Mount was?
I do not know.
The Sermon on the Mount is whenever Jesus went on top of Mount Sinai, I believe, and he gave his sermon, preaching his message. And it is the principle of Christianity. Like, this is his message right here that ends up defining what is Christianity in and all together. And right here is This is whenever he finishes it, and he finishes it very profoundly. A lot of things that you've probably heard before, judging others, the golden rule, narrow and wide gates.
I saw that one.
Yeah, so this one's it's popular, but this is how he finishes it. And in the first part of judging others, there's two parts of this. The first part says that if Raul here, if I notice that he has a flaw, right, a little flaw, and I try to correct him, but I'm over here with a big flaw, in this example, if he has a speck of dirt in his eye and I have a log sticking out of mine, who am I to correct him, right? I should focus on removing my own log out of my eyes before I try to go out and judge someone else. And I just want to hear what y'all think about that.
No, I like the last part where it says, "You hypocrite, first take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your neighbor's eye." So I think
that's what I was wondering on too.
Something how Derek was mentioning. How can I point out someone else's flaw when I have a big old flaw right here, right? And once you're able to actually fix your own flaw, then you're able to help others. So I think I like that. I think we should do more of that. You know,
What about if
work on ourselves
Work
first,
on ourselves
and then
first.
we can help others. You know,
Right, but what if you're trying to maybe give them a fair warning? Maybe you're just like, hey, chill out a little bit because your speck of dirt in your eye will turn into this log that I have. What if you're trying to teach them, like, hey, if you keep going down this path?
I don't think you're in that position. I think it's kind of how we always talk about. We want to look up to people that we actually look up to. I'm not going to take advice from someone who's maybe on the same level or below where I want to be at, right? So in my eyes, I'm thinking it's more of like, because saying this person is a hypocrite. I don't think this is someone that's looking with good intentions, because I think that someone who has good intentions would have already taken that log out and say, hey, I'm trying to help you out because I've been there. I think this is more calling out people who still are deeply flawed and they're trying to put themselves on a high horse and judge other people. That's
So
what I think this is specifically talking about.
An example would be there's a drug addict and he's still heavily into drugs and he's doing drugs and he's trying hard to get out of that rut. And then he sees maybe a friend or a family member experimenting drugs, and he tells him, hey, don't go down this path because you'll get this big old log like I do. I'm addicted and I can't get out of it. You start it right there, get a little taste, and then you're going to want more like me.
I think it also, I don't even think it has to be that extreme. I think it could be someone who, for example, let's say they cheat on a test or something like that, and then they see you and you're not even cheating, you're just using AI or something like that, a study tool, and they get on you saying that, man, why are you cheating? You don't need to be cheating for this, whatever. Like, I think it's as simple as you just sitting on your high horse, you being a hypocrite. It's straight up. I think that's exactly like, say, for example, like some promiscuous woman is getting onto this other girl because, oh, maybe she's wearing a clothes that, or maybe they fit her good, but you're like, oh, she's a hoe. Even if she's not, right? Even if she's not, but they're jealous of her and they don't want to whatever, and they just call her out and they try to make her seem and put her down so that they can feel better about how their lifestyle is. And that's exactly what this is calling out. But also, this is why I said the second part says, do not give what is holy to dogs. Do not throw your pearls before swine, or they will trample under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces. And I think, oh, go ahead.
No, I was reading over it. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because for me, I take that as don't waste your time or give your precious energy to people that are unworthy of it. Do not give what is holy to dogs. Do not throw your pearls before swine. Things that are precious, right? What's holy, pearls. To me, when I hear pearls, right, I think maybe something precious, valuable that I have. Do not throw them before swine, because they will trample over that. What we find valuable, which, as we've talked about on numerous occasions on this podcast, is your time and your energy. The most valuable things that you have. That is your currency, and it's finite. You never know whenever it's going to run out. That right there should not be wasted on people or things that do not deserve it. And it's very easy to indicate what does or doesn't deserve it. Does it help you grow? It's kind of it's pretty simple. And so I also see this as a warning to, first, don't be a hypocrite and don't bother trying to help someone else out if you yourself have problems. Solve yourself first, and then when you have that ability, then you can go out and start helping people. But then again, there are some people who you should, I don't even know. I said, shouldn't worry about them? Maybe stay away from them? Or maybe not, or be very particular about how you go about helping them? I don't know.
And this is about verse 6, right? Do not give what's holy. I don't know. I feel like I've experienced this in some sort of way as well. When you go out of your way and you try to help a person, and I think at the end of the day, you can kind of differentiate what a good person is, who a good person is, and who a bad person is. And exactly how it says, do not give what is holy to dogs. So don't give your value, your what's valuable to you, whether it's your time, your energy, or maybe even possession, or for my example, maybe your knowledge, to a dog. And by dog, I'm thinking of a bad person, right? And something that you mentioned, do not throw your pearls before swine. Don't give them what's valuable, right? Or they will trample them underfoot. They will take what you gave them, destroy it, and then they'll turn around and use it against you. That's how I think of this. I was having a little bit of trouble understanding it at first. I had to reread it like maybe 3-4 times. That's why I was like, hold on, let me reread this. But that's kind of what it makes me think of. And in a way, I might have experienced this already. And I don't know. I think, you can have all the best intentions in the world when you are trying to help a person, but if you give it to the wrong person, and literally in this verse, when you give it to a dog, to a bad person, it's exactly how it says. They're gonna trample all over it, and then they're gonna turn around and screw you over in a way.
And I think also it kind of reflects you for, like, if you associate with that person and they're like, well, weren't you hanging out with this guy? Or aren't you so-and-so's friend? Or aren't you so-and-so's relative? Aren't you so-and-so's, girl or whatever? I think it also reflects on you, the people that you have around you. And so just being careful about what you're willing to give, and that discernment. I think it all boils down to knowing those people. And sometimes you got to learn the hard way. Yeah. And I think that's the mistake you have to make.
What do you think of when it says, do not throw your pearls before swine? What does that mean? Pearls before swine?
Well,
I know we associate pearls with value, right? Mm-hmm. But before swine, that's where I'm having trouble understanding.
So swine, literally, they're pigs, right?
It's pigs.
Pigs are seen as, especially in the Bible, especially in the Old Testament, believers were not allowed to, or Jews, I guess you say, they were not allowed to eat pork, because pigs were seen as an uncleanly.
They were dirty.
Uncleanly animal. Like, it was vile to eat a pig or eat pork, because pigs they're disgusting. They eat anything and everything. And so to consume them was seen as an abomination, and you were not allowed to, in the Old Covenant, to eat pork. So I think, before swine, I think this is kind of a callback to the Old Testament of something that's literally disgusting. Like, I don't know, it's an abomination. Do not throw your pearls before swine. I imagine, don't throw your pearls in crap or something like that. But it's at the same time, it's characterizing it, or they will trample them under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces. But that's what swine will do. Yeah. They'll literally eat anything. They'll eat you. You know what I'm saying? Especially if they're hungry enough, and they're big ones, right?
Some hogs.
There's some hogs, right? They'll eat you. And so I guess it's with your values. Don't mess with certain. I don't even know if this maybe has to be certainly people, but I think this can be anything. Different sins. people can lead you to sin, and I think you give away what's valuable to you, and they'll take it, and maybe they'll take you. Maybe what you value is, as we mentioned, your time, your energy, your knowledge, your wisdom, and they'll take that. They'll take you down, and they'll tear you to pieces. I don't know how else to characterize it. Like, maybe they'll ruin your life. Maybe they'll lead you down the wrong path. But that's what I imagine with swine. Just because the old covenant, it was an abomination. You couldn't eat pork.
I wanted to kind of take off on verse 7.
Real quick though, and
Go ahead.
I'm gonna just say a comment on the other one. My first sentence says, "Do not judge, so that you won't be judged." So who are we to judge? If we see someone doing wrong, even though we do wrong, we just stay silent.
What?
So who are we to judge, right? It says, "Do not judge, so that we won't be judged." If you see someone doing wrong, even though you're doing wrong, you should just stay silent and don't correct them, because, you know,
I
you're not supposed to
I
judge.
feel like in a way it's hypocritical if you do.
Well, real quick, in the second verse, right after that, it says, "For in the way you judge, you will be judged. By your standard of measure, it will be measured against you." So however you want to judge someone, you better be okay with someone judging you like that. So if you're okay with someone saying, "Hey, bro, don't do that," and then someone else comes say, "Hey, you shouldn't be doing that either," okay.
And I don't know. I think I've done this in a way before too, where maybe I'm in the shoes of, oh dang, hey, I'm doing something. This, I know what I'm doing is wrong, and I see someone else doing it is wrong. But I feel in a way like hypocritical. Like I feel like I can't in a way call you out just because I know I'm doing it. You know, so I don't
Like
know.
if you walk in on me and I'm smoking weed, and you want to spark up, then I'm like, well, crap.
Nah.
I can't really tell him to not smoke weed.
Yeah.
If
So
I'm
that
smoking
goes back
weed.
to learning the hard way.
Yeah, like I can't tell him nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And if I do call him out, then I should be prepared to get called out. Say, you're smoking weed? Oh, you're right. Okay.
It also holds like no value when it's that case.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that's what that has to do with it.
Yeah. But for ask, search, and knock, verse 7, ask and it will be given to you. Search and you will find open. I think this is a big lesson that I'm currently going through as of right now, just because maybe you can classify it as pride, maybe you can classify it as ego, but I am usually the kind of person that I'm going to figure it out on my own. You know what I'm saying? I don't like asking for help. You know, hey, get out of my way. Just let me do it. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to succeed. If I succeed, hey, great. If I fail, it's all on me. But I also take inspiration from Alex Ramosi. He mentions
Like you were reading the Bible.
and this is where I can connect. Doing whatever it takes in order to achieve what you want to achieve. Whatever it takes. And who am I not to put my pride, who am I not to sacrifice my pride, to sacrifice my ego, put it to the side, and go to people that I look up to, that I actually do have a connection to. I think of my sister in this case. Why shouldn't I go and ask her, you know? And exactly how it's mentioning in this verse, it mentions something like, where does it say? It's kind of talking about, is there anyone among you who, if your child asks for bread, will give a stone, or if the child asks for a fish, will give a snake? And like that part right there makes me think, like, usually when you do ask for help, there's usually always good that comes behind it. It's never kind of how it goes like this.
Deceitful.
Yeah,
malicious.
It's never deceitful, and that's something that I like how I'm mentioning. I struggle to put my pride to the side and go ask for help. But the times I have done it, and I've been doing it a little bit more often lately because I am going through struggles, right? And I ask that advice, like, hey, what do you think about this current situation? I'm going through this, going through that. And usually it's always been good advice. It's never been like, well, you know what? Hey, screw yourself. You know, it's never been that. It's never literally how it's saying. I go ask for bread and they give me a stone. It's never been that. So I think it is good to live by this verse, and I can relate to it, and I can completely agree with it. Ask and you shall receive, search and you will find, and knock and that door will be open to you.
And this is actually something that my mom used to say to me all the time. She used to read this verse to me a lot as a kid. So this one I've known by heart since I was a child. In that context, it's I mainly applied it in just anything that I wanted in life, right? Like I know the God's plan that He has for me, right? And sometimes, with the way that life works, you may not know the answers, you may not know the path, not know where to go, and so who else to lean on other than God, other than Jesus? And so my mother would always say, pray about it. Ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it will be open to you. A lot of times we want to bottle it up, silence. Maybe we don't want to ask God because of, as you mentioned, pride, ego. And so instead of asking God for help, asking God for wisdom, asking God to open those doors, we stay stuck and silent, and we don't make any progress, right? No progress. That's the worst type of thing, right? You don't want to be stuck, because if you're stuck, you're really just regressing. So for me, it was learning how to put my pride aside and just ask God in the simple things and, of course, in the big things. And so for me, that's how it's applied in my life, was being willing to ask God for anything that I want. And simpler, the way He says, is there a man among you where his son asks for a loaf, we'll give him a stone? Like, He's our Father. And that's kind of what He says right here too. How much more your Father who is in heaven give what is good to those who ask Him. Ask God. And, if I were to go to my dad and say, hey, Dad, can I get $20? He'll give me 100, right? Because he's my dad. He wants to take care of me. Or imagine me going to God and saying, God, you know what I need, but God, I want this door to open. I need this opportunity. I want to seize this opportunity. And then He's going to open the floodgates. And not just one opportunity, but 5 opportunities. But it's humbling yourself and accepting the fact that you don't know where to go and leaning on God to take care of you and trusting Him.
Yeah. And it's not something easy to do. At least it wasn't for me, but you gotta, I really lean on that, what Alex Mosey says, how idiotic it is to not be willing to sacrifice. Okay, you say you're willing to do whatever it takes to achieve your dreams, to achieve that goal. But how idiotic would it be not to sacrifice your pride and ego to go ask for help to someone that you actually look up to, And that's something that has helped me, at least, to put my pride to the side, put my ego to the side, and you know what? Hey, I'm in this position, I don't know where to go. I don't know what path to take. I don't know what to do right now. Pray to God about it. God, hey, I need help. I need some guidance. And I don't know. It's also led me to go ask, for example, go to my sister. She's an entrepreneur herself. She's got way more experience than I do. Why not go to her and ask, hey, I'm in this current situation. This is what I'm thinking. And she can give me some guidance as well, and maybe she's been through it herself. You never know.
I think this also applies to you not wanting to ask God because you don't actually want the answer. And what I mean by that is, let's say that this person, there's someone in your life that shouldn't be in your life. You shouldn't be associated with this person. Say it's a girl, right? You like her and all, whatever, but she's no good.
I pray she's the one.
Yeah. And so you're like, God, I'm scared to ask you, but I need to know what's the right move, right? Bro, and then He takes them right out of your life.
That's crazy.
Right?
It's happened to me.
I think literally that's also what hinders us, is the fear of knowing. Like, we know subconsciously what the answer is, but we go to God with it. And we say, God, okay, if this isn't meant to be, I want you to show me the right way. Let me ask you. I want to ask you, God, show me where the right path is. And He'll show you, and it's the opposite direction of where you've been going. You're like, damn, you're telling me I got to stop hanging out with this person. I got to stop smoking. I got to stop drinking. I got to stop clubbing and go down this path because this is the path you're telling me is the right path to go down. That's tough, right? And so we avoid asking God because guess what? God's going to show us the right way. The right way isn't oftentimes, it's not our way. We have to learn how to make it our way. But for the most part, our way is the opposite direction. We want to do what we want to do. We want to live the life that we want. We want to fulfill all of our fleshly desires and sin as much as humanly possible, right? It's what everyone does. But as soon as you go to God and say, God, I'm asking for your help, he's going to be like, well, first off, turn around and go this way, right? How difficult is it? That's another part of it for, let's say, for non-believers or people who want to believe but don't want to fully commit to it, where I think that's also a fear. Is you know what God's going to tell you. You know exactly what your sins are. You know exactly what it is. And whether or not you want to live a life flourishly that God has promised you, the floodgates of heaven be open to you, it's completely dependent on whether or not you're willing to listen to him. And ask and he'll show you. Ask and you shall receive. It doesn't mean that you're going to like what you receive. Does not mean that. You might receive an answer and you're like, I hate this. God, why? Why do I have to go down this path? I've been there before, right? Sure, we all have been there. Where maybe it was a person, maybe it was a habit, maybe it was anything else, right? Where we were like, God, I don't want to stop doing this or hanging out with this person. I don't want to stop. But you're telling me to stop. And God's like, well, you asked me. You asked for help. You asked me for the answer. There's the answer. It doesn't matter whether or not you like it. This is what the answer is. And it's upon you to decide whether or not you want to listen.
Sometimes the first step too is admitting it. Is admitting you need help. Is recognizing, okay, it's time for me to ask. In verse 11, it says, if you then, kind of repeating what you said, who are evil, if we who are evil know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give good things to those who ask him? Mm-hmm. So you're mentioning, pray for it, really want this opportunity, he opens the floodgates. However, do not lean on your own understanding. Maybe that's not what he has planned for you. So I really want this. And like you said, do a 180, go the other way. That's not what I planned for you. Mm-hmm. It's going to hurt. It's going to suck. This person's not meant for you. This job's not meant for you. This career's not meant for you. But trust me, and it's all going to be okay. Mm-hmm. Right after that, verse 12, therefore, whatever you want others to do for you, do also the same for them. For this is the law and the prophets. The golden rule, which you mentioned. The thing they teach you when you first go to school, treat others the way you want to be treated. Judge others the way you want to be judged. I can take a lot from that and just being a good person. If, like you said, if you judge someone, be prepared to be judged the same way. Mm-hmm. If you treat someone bad, be prepared to be treated bad back. Or if someone asks you for, fish and you give them a snake, if you ask him for bread and you give him a stone, then don't be surprised when tables turn and you're asking people for help and they give you stones and they give you snakes and they turn their back on you.
Mm-hmm. That's good. And then right after that, verse 13, the narrow and wide gates. Enter through the narrow gate, for the gate is wide and the way is broad that leads to destruction, and there are many who enter through it. For the gate is small and the way is narrow that leads to life, and there are few who find it. Which I've brought this up before because it's a very powerful message, but it's so true. It's so easy to live that life that all of our friends are living, or all of our peers, right, that we grew up with. And for us, we understand that what that life led us to, the path that it went down. And now we've been able to turn and do our 180 and go down the narrow gate, the small gate. But it's difficult because, as I mentioned, there's few people who go down it. It says it right here. Few find it. Meaning, more than likely, you're going to lose a lot of people. You're going to have to cut off a lot of people. Your friends, your whole group of friends is going to turn into a small group if you're lucky. Maybe you'll have one or two friends. I've been blessed enough. I have 2 friends. That's all I need. But it just goes to show that everyone, society will tell you this is the right way to go. This is the path. This is what you're supposed to be doing, right? This is what's normal. This is what's good. And God's telling you this little narrow path right here with very few people on it, probably people that are kind of like maybe they look different than you, maybe they act different than you, but this narrow path right here, that's the one that leads to life, eternal life. And it's difficult to go through as well because as it mentions, it's a lot of people are followers. Whatever the crowd does, that's what you want to do. And you have to be willing to be the exception. You have to be willing to step out and be different. Look weird, right? Naturally, you're going to stand out. That's very obvious. If you're the exception, that means everyone else, they're the standard. So you're going to look different. You're going to talk different. You're going to do things differently. People will call you weird. People will say you look dumb. People will say you look stupid. People will say they don't understand you. But that's how you know you're going down the right path. Because everyone else, if you're doing what everyone else is doing, then you're going to blend right in. No one's ever going to say anything to you because, well, me and you we look the same, we act the same, we talk the same, we walk the same. Me and you might as well be the same person. But there's someone who sticks out like a sore thumb over there, and his name's Ragu. Something's different about him. He's probably weird, or there's something wrong with him, or whatever. They'll start hating on him, just to make themselves feel better about their lifestyle, right?
This is something you mentioned earlier too. It kind of reminded me of that. Derek said, society tells you to go this way because that's the right way. Kind of reminded me of the story with your lady friend that you met when you were talking to her, and she's in college, and she kind of mentioned to you, isn't that what college is for? To mess around, to drink, to smoke.
To have fun.
And to have fun, to experience things. And you were like, no, like college is to actually learn and get a degree, get something out of it. That's what it legitimately was for. But now, like you said, society tells you, no, go have fun, make your mistakes, hoe around, drink, smoke. Mm-hmm. That kind of reminded me of that story you were talking about earlier.
Party. And what's funny is I heard someone talk about, I don't even remember what it was, but it was just like a clip of someone who was talking about college. And the only thing that they said was, like, that's what college is. Like literally, you only go to college so you can party and so you can drink and whatever. Like that's the only thing they had to say about college. And I'm like, dang, it's because it's true. That's what college has become now, and that's why it's more now prevalent a scam for most people.
These make me think of two things. One, when it's scary, that's when you jump. And I think I'm having an epiphany right now just reading these things.
Just second one.
Yeah, just because, like I said, I've been going through some things, and just reading the word really opens your eyes to a lot of things and gives you a lot of answers for things that you may be going through. For the gate is narrow and the road is hard that leads to life. Exactly kind of how both these gentlemen were saying. It's very hard, it's very difficult to do the right thing. It's hard to get yourself up, go to work every day. It's hard to get yourself to go to the gym, to eat healthy. It's hard. But it is easy to give up. It is easy to quit. It is easy to go smoke, drink, follow the crowd. And that's what majority of people do. But little do they know, eventually that's going to lead, exactly how it says, to destruction. And this just makes me think of life right now. It makes me think of life and what I'm personally going through. And in a way, I feel like this is giving me answers. And something similar to what Derek said, you can be going down this road, and God's just going to be like, nope, turn around, go that way. Like, I know it's scary. I know it looks difficult. I know it looks hard, and it more than likely will be. But that leads to life. That leads to a prosperous future. And I don't know what movie I heard it from, but I've mentioned it over and over and over. When it's scary, that's when you jump. And when you end up jumping, you jump into the pool, you end up realizing it wasn't even that deep. It wasn't even that deep.
Yeah, and one thing that I heard too is like the hardest part is the start.
Yeah.
It's the scariest. It's the hardest when you first start going to the gym the first time. Go in, you're a little overweight. You think everyone's looking at you. You don't know what workouts you're doing, and you don't even know if you're doing them right. Am I feeling this right? Or whatever. But as you keep going, it gets a little easier. Maybe you get some friends and things like that. Same way with eating right. Crap, I don't know how to cook this, and this tastes like crap. Then you start doing it for a while, and you're like, you know what, this ain't so bad. Let me experiment. Let me buy an air fryer, and now everything tastes good.
Next thing you know, you haven't eaten out fast food.
You haven't eaten fast food in such a long time. They're like, just with everything in life, the hardest part is the start. That is the very hardest part. Once you get over that hump, you'll realize, hey, it's not actually that hard. It ain't that deep, bro.
Yeah, it's really not too, because it kind of reminds me too of my situation. I mean, I have a roommate or two, and they do their own thing, and I do my own thing, and they kind of got surprised maybe one day, like, you go to the gym every day after you get off work, and you get home late and this and that. It's like, what do you be doing? I just stay busy, because they typical college life.
I literally show up here
right.
to sleep and shower and.
This is literally my place to just sleep and all that, right? And then I overheard him having a conversation one time, and he was like, hey, bro, he was talking to another friend. He was like, hey, stay up. Let's stay up, play the game with me tonight. Let's stay up all night. And he's like, nah, bro, I'm tired. He's like, oh, tomorrow's Saturday. We get to sleep in. And then in my head, I'm like, dang, they get to sleep in. So I'll tell you, I was like, wow. Like, I remember I was in that boat where tomorrow's Saturday, get to sleep in. And then, no, I got to get up at 6 a.m. and go get some money, meet up with the boys after. No, that's just another work day. Yeah. But just to hear the comparison of like, hey, like they're having their conversation, stay up with me, let's play the game all night. You get to sleep in, it's Saturday. And I'm like, dang, I'm going to bed. It's 9, 10 o'clock. I'm getting ready for bed. I got to go to work again. And you just put that in perspective. The hardest part is starting. Like you mentioned, going back into the gym. It's like riding a bike, though, because thankfully growing up, we were in the gym already pretty hard. And then you're not as strong as you were. You're not as good at cardio as you were. Your technique is flawed. But then you start bringing it out, and then now you're even better than when you were in school or little or whatever. So that's kind of my experience right now. And it's just like, man, like you mentioned, every time you're reading something, it relates to your current life situation.
Yeah, and I really like this. I really like this next one. I really like this next part. Beware of the false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. You will know them by their fruits. Grapes are not gathered from thorn bushes, nor figs from thistles, are they? So every good tree bears good fruit, but the bad tree bears bad fruit. And good tree cannot produce bad fruit, nor can a bad tree produce good fruit. Just that right there. It's kind of what we talked about earlier. You can only fake it for so long, right? Mm-hmm. Eventually, the fruits of your labor are going to show. And this is one thing that I've learned. I learned it one of my first days at business school at Baylor, and I've applied it to everything else in my life. You go based off of pattern, not potential. Not what something you think it could be. You go based off of what it is and what it's done. That's how you make decisions. In the market, it's the same way. You don't try to test potential. You're just like, okay, this is the pattern. This is what it shows me. And then I've learned to apply that with people, with women, right? Oh, my gosh. You know how many women you'll probably think like, man, this could be such a good girl.
Right. Oh, man, I've been through that too.
This girl has so much potential, and maybe she'll flatter you with some nice words. She'll show up and she'll dress very nice. She'll look like she's all innocent schoolgirl. But give it a little bit of time, and they'll start to show you who they really are. A good tree will produce good fruit, right? They'll show you the positive things. Oh, shoot, this woman, she's she dresses nice. She talks eloquently. She's a lady. She's not letting me mac on her. You know what I'm saying? We're doing like movie type shit. You know what I'm saying? And then you have the other one. Oh, she's letting you touch on her. Oh, she's giving you that look. She's giving you that look.
Oh, she let me crack. Oh,
boo.
It sounds like you've been through that recently or something.
Maybe,
bro.
Maybe.
But this is what I'm saying. People, this is how you can tell if someone's faking it or not.
Yeah, I think true colors always come out. Mm-hmm. True colors always come out. Maybe they can put up the front for a few times a week, months,
exhausting, though.
Years, but eventually, it's exhausting. Eventually, they're going to get tired, and their true colors are going to show.
Because I've also been on the other end of that. I was the one putting on a facade to maybe, hey, let me get to know you a little bit more, but that's not really who I was. I was pretending to be someone completely different. My true colors came out. Bam, I ruined it. But I've also experienced it on their end as well, trying to be a person they're not as. And one thing that I think you told me this a long time ago, and I still remember it. You kind of already mentioned it again. To not fall in love with the potential or the thought of what could have been. Mm-hmm. just it is what it is. Like when you're going through a breakup, oh, maybe we can make it work. We have so much potential. Let's try again. You know, we got a bright future. If I keep working, you keep working. You're falling in love with the idea of what could be the potential, but it's not like that. You're like you said, the pattern was what it was, and it led to that breaking up point.
Yeah, and that's why it's like, what's the point in trying again, right? If it's not gonna work, that's not even saying trying again like it's just a one-time thing, right? Because people slip up. It is what it is. You want to try to work through it, but if it's happened more than once, that's a pattern. First time, it could be a mistake. Right? Second time, let's say, I think it's like first time could be an accident. Second time could be a coincidence. Third time, yeah, that's a pattern. That's a pattern. They're showing you who they are. And it's up to you to take that and internalize it and be like, all right, I've noticed that you've done this thing multiple times and I don't like it. So sorry, deuces, right? You gotta, because to me, the most prevalent thing this right here is saying is that you look at what people show you. You look at their actions. Their actions is what their fruit is, right? Or you look at their lifestyle, right? People can say, man, I'm making money, all this and that, whatever. Like, I'm doing good. They still live with their parents. They don't even own their car. You try to go out to eat with them and they're over here trying to make everyone else pay for them, right? Like, okay, yeah, you really don't have money. You're just acting like it. Maybe you got some nice, like flashy jewelry on, or, you know, some designer clothing, but you're just putting on a facade. It's just a front. People will show you who they really are, but you don't listen to the words. You don't listen to you don't even look at them and see what they look like. You look based off of what they show you, their actions. And that's what this tells me. And it's both for good and for bad. People will show you who they are. And so, but even right after that, this is an even more difficult message to internalize. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but he who does the will of my Father who is in heaven will enter. Many will say to me on that day being the rapture, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy your name, and in your name cast out demons, and in your name perform many miracles? And then I will declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you who practice lawlessness. To me, this is saying people, kind of what we touched on it earlier, people that say they know God, people that have the Bible scriptures in their bios or whatever. They post themselves in church every weekend, right? Or every Sunday. And yet they live their lives according to their fleshly desires and sin all the time, right? Those people, based off of what the word says, will not enter the kingdom of heaven. Because God will say, I never knew you. I think the most powerful part about this is that God wants to know you. You have to want to know God. But that comes, as we've talked about, with sacrifice. Maybe not even sacrifice, but it's cutting off the things that you know are bad for you. Going down that narrow and hard path towards life will teach you how to communicate with God, and you'll build a relationship with God. But if you go down that wide gate that everyone else, or the wide path that's everyone else is going down, doing whatever else is that you want to do, living your whatever promiscuous life, or your deceitful, whatever, all that, you cannot sit here and live that life and say that you follow God and expect to get into heaven. That's what I get out of this right here. You can say you believe in God, you can, and it may sound so eloquent, but as it mentions right here, your fruits will show, your actions will show. You say you follow God, but you're in the club every weekend. You say you follow God, you're very promiscuous. You say you follow God, you do drugs, you drink, and you get drunk all the time. You say you follow God, you lie all the time to people. You're deceitful to people. You're judgmental. All these things, right? You say all these things, but, oh, I believe in God. I go to church on Sundays. I lift my hands in the air and I cry. But then for the rest of the week, you're out there doing all these bad things, sinning all over the place. Just because you go on church on Sundays and say, oh, I believe in God, doesn't mean that you're going to go to heaven.
And I think that part right there leads into this next part, the hearers and the doers. Mm-hmm. Everyone that hears the words of mine and acts on them will be a wise man who built his house on the rock. So if you hear and you do, you will accomplish. But if you do the opposite, you hear, you just listen, you don't actually take action on the words of God, then you're going to be a foolish man who built his house on sand.
And I think that's also when you build your house on the rock or you build your house on the sand, it says whenever the rain comes, when the floods come, when the winds blow. I think that's whenever life happens. Mm-hmm. When crap hits the fan. The girl cheats on you, you lose your job, car breaks down, you fail that test, whatever it is. When life comes against you and life happens, what are you going to lean on? Are you going to lean on God or are you going to lean on your own understanding? We've done both, and we've learned the hard way that we make things worse for ourselves more times than not. But it's leaning on God, building your house on that rock. That's why I say I've talked about my mom and where it's like where she was a rock, because we were able to stand firm on her belief. But at the end of the day, her belief was in God. So believing in my mom and believing in her and trusting her was like, hey, she trusts God entirely, and we were able to stay together as a family and look at how far we've come. But I think this whole thing right here, this whole tree and its fruit, or this whole passage, is pretty much saying, at least to me, it's saying that it's not enough to just say that you want it. You have to go out and you have to do it. Even if you tell God that you want it and it looks ugly and you don't want to actually go down that path, you don't want to take that opportunity, you go down it anyways. And oftentimes you're going to have to make all these different turns. There's going to be divots. There's going to be all these obstacles in the way. But you have to trust in God to get through them. And you will see all these other people. Maybe you knew them. Maybe you were best friends. Maybe you dated them at one point. And they're going down the opposite path. And they're looking at you weird. And they're saying, oh, I'm living life. This is how life is supposed to be lived right here. I'm living my best life. Girl boss. But you know that those are the ones that won't enter the kingdom of heaven. Right? Those aren't the ones that are going to be receiving God's blessings. Those aren't the ones that are going to be building their house on a rock, standing firm whenever life comes against them. I think whenever you talk about, we talk about stoicism, right? Where we stay calm in the storm. And we trust in God. We lean on God whenever things get tough. And we get through it. And we grow from it as a result. Instead of crumbling, falling under pressure, get into depression, anxiety. Maybe we drink more. Maybe we do drugs. Maybe we even go even farther. We get addicted or something like that. And we fall into the world. But instead, we build our house on a rock. We build our house on God, the Word. We lean on Him and not on us. And because of that, we're able to get through whatever life throws our way. Because life is going to be difficult. Being a follower of Christ, it doesn't mean that you're not going to go through obstacles. As a matter of fact, it says the opposite. It says being a follower of Christ is difficult. It's not easy. But if you do it, the rewards are above anything that you could ever imagine. But it's funny because people would want to see the benefits, like they want the benefits of being a follower, but they don't want to be a follower. You know what I'm saying?
They want to go to heaven the easy way. Just
Exactly.
by having a scripture in their bio, they think they have a ticket to heaven, but the path to heaven is narrow, just like this says. I think the greatest fear that I could have was thinking that I'm doing everything right, thinking that I'm following, and then it's time to be judged, and he says, I never knew you. That'd probably be something that, man, what was I doing wrong? What was I doing wrong? You know, I thought I was doing everything right. And then this last little section, I didn't really get it at first, but after we talked about it and I reread it a few times, it makes sense. You know, it kind of reminds me of the Three Little Pigs. One builds his house out of straw, the other brick, and what was the other one? I don't remember what the third one was, but the one that was brick stood firm, stayed strong. The devil tried, blowing, couldn't get in. But those that are building it out of sand, out of straw, you're gonna fall easier. It's a temptation.
And I think that's overall that's the message. I think that's exactly what it means to be a follower of Christ, right? Life is hard. Temptation is everywhere. And there are going to be more times than not, the more that you're going in the right direction, the harder life's going to get. Like the devil doesn't want you to succeed. Think about that, right? The enemy does not want you to reach your goals and your dreams, because all that's going to do is going to glorify who? It's going to glorify God. Because whenever we make it, oh, shoot. Guess what? Everyone's going to hear, hey, God got me here. You need to follow God. You need to follow Jesus, right? That's the enemy doesn't want us to go there. So the more that we go down this path, the harder it's going to get, because the devil doesn't want us to succeed. But if you build your house on the rock, if you build and you lay your foundation on the word of God, you will stand strong, stand firm, and you can get through anything in life. You won't succumb to anything. And at the end, at the other side of all those difficult things that you go through is going to be the life that you always wanted, and a life that glorifies God, and it's going to lead more people to Christ. And that's the story that is ultimately that we're trying to tell as we go through all of these adversities, as we go through these trials and tribulations in our life. And I think what's amazing about it is that we are doing exactly what God is telling us to do. He's telling us to lay a foundation. He's saying that he wants to know you. Does he know you, Raul? Does he know you, Jeremy? Does he know me, Derek? Does he know me? I want to say that I'm getting there where I know him. How am I getting to know him though? Because we're reading the word. We're reading him, right? This is us talking to Jesus Christ. Imagine when your parents pass away, right? Your parents pass away. I heard this once from George Janko. Your dad passed away, and he left you a journal, all his thoughts, all his years that he went through in life, everything that he ever thought, all the advice that he ever wanted to give you, the experiences that he went through, all of this. Your father passed away, and he wrote this out for you in a book. He said, "This is for you after I die." Would you not read it? Would you not read it every day? Wouldn't you read it over and over and over and over and over again to get closer to your father? Because you know what? My father probably has some good advice for me. That's exactly what Jesus did, right? That's exactly what God did. He's left us this, his experiences, his knowledge, wisdom, all these things into here to help make us better. This is our instruction. This is our manual to life, how to live life. And if you don't read it, well, then how am I supposed to ever know? How am I supposed to know? Like, if I don't read a manual to fixing something or building something, I'm probably not going to do it right. Probably going to mess it up. But this right here is your manual. This is your guide to life, how to live your life. So if you're not reading it, well, then you're probably going to be doing things wrong, and you're just not going to know. You're going to be able to fall for anything. As it says here, if you're not building your foundation on God, you're building your foundation on sand, on the world, on your own understanding, and it's going to fail you. You are going to fail you. People are going to fail you. So build your life on the word. You can't just say it. You can't. You cannot be one of those that just says it, puts it on their. They see a scripture that they like because it makes them feel good, but then they don't read this one. Where not everyone who knows who calls
they want
my
everybody
name
to know that they're reading the Bible quote, but not living it.
Yeah.
Kind of like how you mentioned all the time too. You know, at the end of the day, what you're doing is right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You read the Bible, and then right after this, maybe go and do something that you know you shouldn't be doing, but you're like, I'll try again tomorrow. At least I'm on the right path. But we already know that that's not right. So we're already, on the path that everybody else is going on. Even though we're doing something a little bit different, because after this, or after anything, you do something good, and immediately right after, you're gonna go, okay, let me sneak this off real quick. No one's gonna know.
Mm-hmm.
God knows, and you know, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly. But that was good.
I like that one.
That was good. That's the end of the Sermon on the Mount, and so from there, I guess we'll just continue to read.
Chapter 8.
To read, yeah, the rest of Jesus' life on earth, and the rest of the teachings and the miracles that he was able to do while on this planet. But yeah, thank y'all all for tuning in to today's episode. We really appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Road to 100 subscribers.
Road to 100.
We're one short.
We're one short. So if you are not subscribed, subscribe so we can actually get to 100.